Welcome. Welcome to Life After Work. I'm your host, Dr. Clark Gaither. Life After Work is the source, the tool, the solution for redesigning and transforming your life when your life's work, for whatever reason, has come to an end. On this episode, I want to talk a little bit about how the career dynamic has changed over the last 40 or 50 years. Specifically, what's changed about retirement, the old way of retiring versus what is happening now in terms of retirement. Let me paint a picture for you. You get out of high school, and this, by the way, would be many, many years ago. You would get out of high school, you would perhaps go into a trade or work for a large company that offered a pension. You would work 30, 35, 40 years with that same company. And over those years, you would build a nest egg for retirement, and you would get good at your craft or whatever it was that you were doing. But sooner or later, when the time came, you would be given the golden watch and a heartfelt thank you for all your years of service, and you would retire on your pension. That was the way it was many decades ago. Since then, the average person doesn't just work for one company anymore, their entire working career. Right now in the U.S., the average person will have 12 different jobs in a lifetime. 32% of people aged 25 to 44 have considered making a career change within the past year. 29% of people have completely changed careers since starting their first job after college. 58% of U.S. adults want to change careers, but the risk of starting over presents a formidable barrier to them. Those are just some of the changes that have occurred since the old retirement paradigm went out the window. Pensions are kind of a thing of the past. You may have a SEP-IRA or 401k retirement fund that your employer is contributing to, or you are contributing to, or both. But the notion of retiring on a pension has largely disappeared. Also, the loyalty that people once placed in their company has gone away because, let's face it, the work environment has changed a great deal. The rapid pace of change in today's work environment has been nothing short of astounding. It really does shake people up when a company will lay off 30,000 employees, like Elon Musk did when he acquired Twitter. Google, Amazon, and several other large companies recently laid off a total of 400,000 employees. So job security is a big question mark in today's market. Also, the pace of raises are not in concert with the pace of inflation. The average pay raise now is about 3%, which is under what the inflation rate is. And so people change jobs frequently looking for higher income or a higher wage. So all of this change has resulted in people becoming damaged in many, many different ways. People are being made obsolete by technology, automation, artificial intelligence. We haven't even begun to get the full effect of that wave just yet. And many work environments have become toxic. More work, more responsibility, less control, less reward. This sets up people for job-related burnout. Now, when people burn out, they don't just burn out over stress alone. In fact, burnout and stress are completely two different things, and the approach to alleviating them needs to be different. Now, if you're severely burned out, I promise you, you're stressed. But you can be stressed without being burned out. Stress engenders a sense of urgency and hyperactivity. On the other hand, burnout engenders a sense of hopelessness and helplessness. Stress is characterized by overengagement. Burnout, on the other hand, is characterized by disconnection. People disconnect from not only the people that they serve, but they disconnect from their chosen job or career. In stress, the emotions are overengaged. With burnout, the emotions are blunted. Stress is characterized by hyperactivity. People are running around, stomping out fires, trying to get things done, meet deadlines. Heart rate's up, blood pressure's up, eyes are dilated. They're on alert. It's like fight or flight time. However, with burnout, the damage is primarily emotional. The emotions, as I said before, are blunted. In fact, people can end up depressed. That's why there are higher rates of depression and suicide in people who are severely burned out versus people who are just overly stressed. The good news is, once you exit a toxic work environment, the symptoms or hallmarks of burnout dissipate fairly rapidly. And that brings up an important point. 90% of burnout is caused by the work environment. Only 10% of the time does the individual burn themselves out. So we're seeing higher rates of burnout in almost every profession that you look at. Of course, some professions, the burnout rates are higher than others. But every profession has a burnout rate, and they're all climbing. That, again, speaks to the rapid pace of change that has occurred in the work environment. And most of those changes have not been good for the employee. We're almost in a situation where today's work environments are creating a moral injury of sorts, where people can't use their natural talents and abilities in a way that's personally satisfying to them while serving others. And then there's the issue of work overload and lack of control and insufficient reward, and all of those things serve to damage people and by means of burnout. And so people are damaged going into retirement. Maybe it's time to rethink retirement. Maybe it's time to rethink what can be done now to put ourselves in a better position for retirement once that day comes. Maybe it's time to give more thought to what comes next after retirement. More on that later. In the meantime, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that you can receive notification as soon as new content is released. Also, Life After Work publishes a newsletter, and it's free. And there's lots of content in that newsletter, more content than will be featured on this channel. In future episodes, I'll be talking more about the hallmarks or symptoms of burnout, the underlying causes or drivers of burnout, and what you can do to alleviate those symptoms. And there will be many more topics we'll be discussing on Life After Work. Until next time. Welcome. Welcome to Life After Work. I'm your host, Dr. Clark Gaither. And where is my jacket?